excited because I'm hoping, praying that I can get a little new place, and to get a little kitty. I've been thinking about getting a little kitty for a long time, and I am starting to finally see it in my future, and it's very exciting to be thinking about that. So who knows, maybe in a future ASMR video, it'll be a purring cat video. Maybe featuring my future cat. If you guys have any tips on how to take care of a little kitty, that would be great. Or a 1-year-old kitty too. If you have any advice on that, that would be great as well. I have been researching and looking into Jackson Galaxy videos. And I've been looking at Jackson Galaxy and the way that he treats cats and the tips that he has to give. And so that's been really helpful. And so I've been looking very much into that. Very much into that. A little baby kitty to take care of. I say baby kitty, but ideally I would want one that's like a year or two old, because I think a baby kitty would demand a lot of attention. A lot more attention than one who's already like 1 to 2 years old. And so, as much as I love baby kitties, I just don't think that my work lifestyle could accommodate for that. So, it's unfortunate, but maybe in the future, a little baby kitty. But as of now, I'm thinking a lot about getting a cat. And I'm very excited about that. And so here's where it starts getting a little weird because of the perspective. I was having trouble with one of the arms of the little kitty because it's foreshortened, and what that means is that basically from the camera's view it looks like the limb is shorter, even though in real life it's not. But foreshortening, it's shortened. Foreshortening, I'm pretty sure that means in the foreground that it's shortened. So then it's a bit of a challenge for artists to foreshorten limbs. It's a very famous thing that we have trouble with, like drawing hands. Hands are very difficult to draw because they are so prehensile. You have so many little like ligaments and bones and things in there. And as humans, like we're so used to our hands that if we see it like just a little bit off, it's kind of the same thing with faces. Going back to AI, it's kind of the same thing with like faces. If we notice that something's a little bit off, we've been kind of like, it's trained in our DNA to look at human faces and human hands. So that's kind of how we got by as a species, right? So then, especially with reading faces, so then if we see something that's not, up to par, I guess. No, I don't want to say that. But if we don't see something that doesn't look inherently right, we get a little bit uncomfortable. And so I think that's a big thing with foreshortening, like proportions and foreshortening. Like we see something in real life, and then if it doesn't look that way on a drawing, then it kind of looks off. Because we've been trained, we're very special. Humans are very special, and that we're very pattern-seeking. And so this pattern-seeking ability allows us to... Where am I going with this? Seeking patterns. So that if we notice that something's off, we definitely will. It's going to be pretty obvious. With things like proportions, though, it's a little less obvious, especially if you're doing something like, I don't know, like feet or things like that. It tends to be a little bit harder. But aside from that, here as you can see, I'm having problems with like the right paw of the little kitty. I actually don't draw cats that often. I think this is like my first or second time actually drawing a cat. I hope to draw more cats in the future, especially with that future kitty that I mentioned. I really hope that I can draw more cats, especially my own, that would be great. That would be great. That would be fantastic. But yeah, the place I'm at right now, there's a no pet policy. No pets. So it's a little bit sad because I just feel like a kitty. I mean, yeah, they can scratch furniture. They can, I mean, that's about all I can really think of. I mean, I guess sometimes they stink. But, I mean, if you can take care of your space, they don't really stink that much. Or maybe get used to it, I don't know. But I just feel like, there's like this overarching no pets thing when you're trying to get a new place, right? And so, it's kind of disappointing because I feel like, especially with cats, like they're very, I understand, it's to prevent like any damages, especially because they can scratch at stuff and claw at stuff. But, I mean, if you have a place that's not furnished, and if you have a place that's not furnished, I mean, you bring your own furniture. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your furniture that's getting clawed, if anything, so, it's just a little bit disappointing to hear when there's no pets allowed, especially in an unfurnished place. But anyways, but I'm hoping in the near future I can find a nice supportive place that would allow for a little kitty. And if I do get that kitty, I most definitely am making videos with them. I think that I'm gonna have a girl kitty. I just feel it in my bones. Like, I don't know, sometimes I think like, well, maybe I'll get a boy cat, but I don't know, you ever just have a feeling of when something's going to happen? I feel that way with a girl cat. I feel like I'm gonna get a girl cat. I'm gonna have a little daughter. My daughter that I birthed. Most definitely not. But yeah, in here I'm just drawing the blanket, erasing any imperfections with the blanket. And honestly, with this piece, I'm not trying to go super detailed. I'm not trying to be like very overtly realistic. I mean, I'm just trying to get the vibe. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get the vibe that a cat is sleeping. And looking at this, I really hope that you guys are as cozied up as this cat. Nice and cozy as this cat is. Getting ready to sleep. This cat looks incredibly cozy. Incredibly cozy. Incredibly cozy. Cozy. So, I'm drawing the pillow. And the program I'm using is called Procreate, which I think is such a weird name for an art program. I mean, I get it. Create. But Procreate, I mean, that just has a different... You know what? Let me not get into that. Here I'm using the lasso tool so I can color in. The lasso tool is very useful because it'll allow you to basically like select an area, right? If you select an area, it'll allow you to basically go in and color it without me affecting the whole piece, without me coloring the whole piece. It allowed me to just go around the cat and then paint the cat. Paint the cat, paint the cat, paint the cat. Y'all ever read Paint the Cat? Paint the Cat is a very it's like a children's book series, but it's so cute. It's like a mischievous little cat named Pete. And so I think I would probably name this cat Pete if I'm being honest with you. He looks like a Pete. I don't know, it's so cute. Anyways, so here I'm getting eye dropping from the reference itself, and then I'm getting a color from the reference, and then I'm putting it onto the piece. And so I'll be doing this kind of often, where I'll get a color from the reference itself, and then I'll go onto the cat, and then back and forth. I go in there and I do that. So, how would you guys feel about a piece where I am painting kind of a physical piece? Right? I'm a little sad because I didn't get to get the sounds of the pencil basically, like traditionally. Let me know what you guys would think of that, because I don't know, it could be a cool idea. And so, I don't know why I keep saying that. Well, there's a couple ideas that I wanted to share with you guys. I made the conservative grifter video, and I was thinking about making a liberal grifter video. I think that would be pretty funny. But for that one, I wanted to get temporary blue hair dye. And you can already see where I'm going with this, right? And then after that, I kind of wanted to do a video where it's a twin, quote unquote video, twin. And on one side, maybe the left side would be the liberal, and the right side would be the conservative. And then it's both of them basically trying to fight for the viewer to get your attention and for you to join their side. I think that would be kind of funny and quirky. And maybe like, I don't know, the viewer is like a centrist or something. They're a centrist, so they don't lean either way. But the leftist in the video and the conservative in the video is trying to convince you of their point, but they do it in like a very ridiculous way, right? So I'm trying to get the most extreme of the extreme, not too extreme for YouTube, but more like absurd points, because I feel like every side has an absurd point to make, even the centrist ones, right? But you came here to relax, so I won't talk about politics too much, but basically, I just kind of want to make it into an absurd, a bit of like a sleep-inducing type of thing. Sleep-inducing. And here, I am taking the paint again, and I'm going on top of any black marks that I made. So the black ink marks, I'm taking paint and I'm going on top of those. And what ends up happening is that it kind of creates this 3D cool look that I like. I don't know, I'm just kind of experimenting with it. Experimentation. And so, goodness, I keep saying that. Oh my goodness, I love when like cats and dogs, around their mouth, it tends to be like, they have like this patch of fur that tends to be a little bit darker than everything else, and I think that is so stinking cute. It is so stinking cute. If you guys have any dogs or cats or any other pets, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments down below. If you have any pets, I'd love to hear it. I am a huge animal lover. I love animals. I try to love bugs. There's some bugs that I think are really cute, like moths. Moths are really cute, but things like cockroaches, I don't even want to mention them because I don't want you to get scared in the videos. They definitely scare me. Just the mention of them. Sorry to laugh so much. But I love animals. I love furry little creatures so much, especially cats and dogs. I know that's probably very basic, but I think that they're so stinking cute, and there's so many cute breeds out there. And even the ones that are not quote unquote cute, like, I don't know, some people think that Oriental short hairs, the cats, that they're kind of weird looking and not cute. I think that they're adorable. They actually honk instead of meowing. It's the cutest thing ever, they honk. And I don't know, like some dogs, it's like people think that like if it's not like a poodle or a very like traditionally cute animal, traditionally cute breed, I mean that it's not cute. But I disagree. I think that there's a lot of cute dog breeds out there, even if they're not traditionally cute. Like the Borzoi. The Borzoi has a really long face, but it's just so cute. It kind of looks a little funny, but that it makes unique and it makes it cute in a way. So, we can apply that logic to humans too, right? Like the things that make you unique might make you look really cute and really nice in the eyes of someone else. So you might as well like some of the features that are deemed conventionally attractive or conventionally cute. I mean, it's just not. And then those things change often over the years, so it's not really something to be worrying about too much. I don't think. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of my ramble. I'm going in here with the cat's face, and it's kind of funny because I added like this little sparkle to their eye, and it kind of looks like their eye is a little open. I think I erased that though later on. And here I'm just kind of like shading and trying to get a feel for shading it. And yeah, here I erase it because it looked like the cat's eyes were open, and I didn't really like that. And then I think here's when I'm gonna start painting the background, yeah. So that something I like to do when I'm making art, when I like to do is sometimes I paint the subject first and then I go in with the background. Now that's pretty dangerous because what happens is that you can get a lack of synergy with the background and the here I'm using the lasso tool again. You can get kind of like a lack of synergy because if things are not painted kind of like together all at once, you can kind of lose a feel for it, and I feel like you can run into that more so in digital art more than physical, because with physical like art, like you're getting in there and I don't know, like does that make sense? I just feel like with digital art it's more easier to get carried away painting just the subject, but now that I think about it, I've been in situations before in physical digital art where I am drawing the subject and then I completely forget the background. And I just end up with a super detailed subject and a very simple background. And what I noticed lately, what I've been trying to do is have like the background marry the subject, right? So they're not so far apart from each other, but I'm not gonna lie, it is a bad habit to kill. Bad habit. And here I'm gonna go into the paws, and oh my goodness, the toe beans are so cute. I love the pink toe beans. So cute. I think cats are so stinking adorable. And so let me know if you guys want more drawing videos. This kind of came to me on a whim because drawing really relaxes me, so I thought it would relax you as well, right? I love to draw. I've been drawing since I think I could pick up a crayon. So like what, 3 years old. And I was drawing on the walls. I'm sure I made my parents very angry with that one. I drew on the walls, and I think I would also like put marker on the walls. Did you guys do that as a kid? Let me know in the comments. If you painted on the walls as a kid, and if you drew on the walls with like marker or crayon. But yeah, I've always been kind of drawn to the arts as well. I was never really like a math person. Shout out to you if you can do math, because I cannot for the life of me do math. Here I'm doing the liquefy tool, which basically allows you to like literally liquefy your piece. So the liquefy tool is really helpful when you're trying to get your proportions right. That's something I wish that physical art had. Physical art with the liquefy tool, because you can kind of like bend the art to to do is just erase and start over. And I feel like that's why people think art is very difficult. And it is. It's very difficult. You need a lot of patience for it. You need patience and time. And if you don't have those things, it's really, really tough. I find myself, like, when I don't have time to make art, like, I get a little sad because, like, this piece in particular, it took me, I want to say, like, around 40 minutes to paint this, right? So I'm voicing it over and I'm painting it in real time. This is not sped up. But, like, you know, there's art pieces that I've done. I've done pieces that are like 40 hours long. I've done pieces that have taken me days, right? And if you have kind of like a full-time job or like other commitments in life, it's really hard to draw. And I don't really blame people who kind of use, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, sometimes I don't blame when people use AI to help them. No, if you're claiming that it's yours, that's something else. But, you know, that's the point of controversy. I mean, I don't want to get too controversial. But, it's kind of the same thing, in my opinion, with, like, tracing, right? Like, if you trace something and then you claim it's yours, like, not really. Especially if you're tracing from, like, something I used to do, which is okay. And it's okay not because I did it, but it's okay because it's like, it's something everybody does, and honestly, it helps you. So something that I used to do when I was a kid, especially, because I've been drawing all of my life, but specifically when I was like preteen to teenager, I would print out pictures, screenshots of anime that I really liked, and I would get like a very thin piece of paper, put it on top of that printed sheet, and then go in with a pencil and then trace over that. And now I don't really think that that's a big deal. Now, if I were to trace that screenshot and then post it online and say, hey, this is mine, then I think, okay, that's a little problematic. Like, you did not come up with that concept, girl. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't really come up with the concept. Now, if you post it online and you say, hey, like, you know, be honest, like, I traced this, you know, I'm learning, and I think that, you know, I don't know, you can say, like, oh, I think I did a pretty good job. Because tracing can also be a little bit hard, like, when you're tracing, and you're not, and you're new to drawing, you're not like a veteran, when you're tracing, it can come out very shaky because you don't have the muscle memory yet, right? And so that's why I really like also tracing, because you can get into the nitty-gritty and you start learning the fine motor control. You start getting fine motor control when you trace, right? And so my piece of advice is, if you really want to draw something and you really, really like it, but you find yourself having a really hard time, something that I would recommend is tracing it first and then trace it again. So trace it like 2 or 3 times. You start getting that muscle memory and then start drawing that on your own without the tracing, right? So you just have the reference, but you're not drawing on top of that reference, right? So, for example, like if I was drawing this cat and I really did not know, and I was having such a hard time, I would probably like draw on top of my reference, and then kind of like get the muscle memory. I'm like, okay, and this is something that I've done with animals, because animals can be a little bit tricky to draw. They're not like humans, where humans, humans are a whole separate can of worms. But with animals, right, like their legs act differently than humans. They go like, I don't know, like instead of, it's, you know, these are things like the muscle memory, right? This is what I'm learning based off tracing. And so what I've done in the past is that I've traced also animals, and then I feel like because of that, because of me learning the muscle memory to trace how animals look, I've been able to go in and then I don't need to trace when I see this little kitty. I can just sketch it because I have that muscle memory there. And so that's why I don't necessarily think tracing is bad, so long as you're using it to your advantage, right? And you're not claiming it as yours, especially when it comes to like tracing like someone else's IP. Like if you're tracing, something I used to do as a kid. I used to trace from Orin High School Host Club. If y'all know what anime that is, you're an OG. And here I was having trouble with the color of the blanket, but honestly I didn't want to copy the blanket. I just wanted to get the vibe that it's warm, if that makes sense. So anyways, so what was I saying? Oh, here I apologize about this part because I go into the different layers that you can do, the different like layer modes that you can do, and some of them are like really hard on the eyes, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm just trying to get one that's like very calming. That blue one looked really nice. I probably would have done the blue one looking back at it now, but I settled on the orange. So anyways, tracing. So tracing, I feel like so long as, if I was a kid, right, and then I'm tracing Orin High School Host Club, and I posted on the internet and I said, I did this, right? This is my property. I did these characters. These are my characters. I would think that's pretty disingenuous because that's not true. Like I didn't do that. Fact of the matter is, I traced those characters, right? And now because of me doing that, I don't need to trace anymore. All I need to do is to go back and use it as a reference because I have that muscle memory now. So that's kind of how I feel with AI a little bit as well. I feel like, if at the end of the day, if you're using it ethically and you're making it into something that's your own, I don't necessarily think that's a super bad thing. Now, my problem is if like someone took my artwork and they were like, oh, Faithy, I'm gonna train my AI model based on your art, and I don't care whether or not you agree. I mean, I would think that's pretty messed up. But if they had asked me, like, can I use your permission? And then with my permission, they said yes, I honestly wouldn't mind. But I know some artists even then have a problem with it. Recently, I saw that there was like this program that they were doing this kind of like AI program where you can allow yourself to make a comic book character, and they had trained this model. It was a little bit problematic in my opinion, so they based this model off of the artist that they got permission from, which is great. I'm like, that's awesome. But then they also trained the model from animes, like very famous animes like Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen. And honestly, like, I don't know how to feel about it because I don't think that they asked. I mean, who knows, maybe they did, but I don't really think that they asked the people who work at Jujutsu Kaisen and Naruto and Solo Leveling too. I don't think that they asked them for permission on using their program, so I don't know, it's a little bit problematic in here. I'm just doing a little dialogue where it's going and oh man, I can't wait to get a little cat to watch it sleep. And so here I'm including my signature. And so here what I do is, this is something that I'm actually learning myself. So I took a dark red and then I put a multiplied layer on top of it, and then I erase from there, right? And then what that does, it kind of makes like this like ambient lighting almost, very ambient lighting. And different from the reference, I wanted to have like a very warm ambient lighting because I think that that'll make it very sleepy inducing, right? So here I included the ambient lighting, try not to make it too dark or bright. And I forgot which one I settled on. Oh, so it's funny to see my own artworks, the way that I developed it and stuff. So, yeah, I was gonna say that orange lighting is a little too intense back there. But yeah, I mean, people have a bunch of opinions on that, and about AI and tracing, and they kind of compare the two. But I just feel like, and this is the final result. I just feel like personally, at the end of the day, if you're being ethical with it and you're basically being chill, you're all good. But yeah, this is my piece. This is how the piece came out. And that was my drawing. If you liked, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below about what you think about my ramble and my drawing. And if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments as well. I hope you have a